My name is Ben Allen. I'm the founder of Oomph Wellness Ltd, and we run therapy provision for the care sector. We work with the majority of care homes in Yorkshire and now becoming Northern England, running exercise therapy, dance therapy, arts and crafts, singing for health, and also just coming up drama therapy. I think when you go into a care home and you look at the care sector, when you walk into any care home, you see lots of people just sat. And although the chair is a very safe place to be, over a very short period of time, over a prolonged period of time, you just become part of the chair. What we need to do is get people moving more, with more vigour and more energy, so they enjoy life more. We've tried to create parties and dance environments where it isn't about exercise, it's about creating a party where exercise is a side effect. And if we can get that right, then the residents get all the exercise benefits whilst enjoying dancing. Examples would be, for instance, chair-based Zumba, which is one of our most popular classes, is a combination of Latin-based dancing. So with that they link the salsa and the cha-cha together and all sorts. So you can imagine you've got a group of people in a room and they're just having a brilliant time, and it's full of laughter and interaction, and that's a great class. Another very popular class, which actually I thought was an awful idea at the time, is chair-based cheerleading. One of our instructors came to me and said, "Ben, this is what we need to do." And I said, "Okay, we'll give it a go." And sure enough, I look like a fool because it's our most popular class now. Most people do assume that you're too old to exercise. Now, my age, I'm 26, but I know my bone age, because I've exercised all my life, is about 23. Just because I'm 26 doesn't mean my bone age can be younger than my actual age. So let's look at somebody who is 70, 80 or 90. If they've had a full life of exercising, things like osteoporosis, the chance of that is lessened. So if we can exercise, we can increase bone density. So if you do fall over, the chance of breaking your hip reduces. So just because we're elderly doesn't mean that we can't exercise. This is where creating that dance environment is so important, because if we look at people who are confused, who do have dementia, what makes it easy for them to follow is when you bring in the apparatus like the pom-poms, the things which make it fun and interactive. So it's not so much that it's exercise based, because people do find that very, very tricky. It's when they find things like the dance based stuff, it creates reminiscence as well. So this is where singing is one of the very last things to go when you've got dementia. You've got an ability to sing all the way through your phases of dementia. So it's the same with dancing. You've always got that ability to pick up that. It's a brilliant thing. Getting the staff involved in our sessions is essential. The residents have a very strong trust with those members of staff. For instance, carers within care homes, they're part of the residents' families. So the residents see a carer having a great time, because our guys are often new to them. They feel far more comfortable taking part, and then that becomes more inclusive. What we tried to create within the care homes is an idea of a unity between carers and residents, where they're in it together. Yes, for sure. Again, just with that subject, people live longer, but also they live longer in general. It's a true finding if you look at people who have lived an active life throughout their life and into later years of life and stay active. They don't only live longer, they live better. So they've got better mobility, better quality of life, because personally, I wouldn't want to live very long with a poor quality of life. So I'd prefer to have a long life with good quality, and that's what exercise and dance can provide. It's not rocket science. If we exercise, if we move, if we use our muscles, we will live longer and live better. It doesn't take somebody going to a gym and lifting heavy weights. It doesn't take me to go running up a mountain. Everybody thinks of exercise as the tough thing to do. Exercise is scary, exercise is hard. It's not about exercise, it's about wellness, and we can all be well, we can all be better. And just simple things like moving, like walking, like just simply dancing in your chair, for instance, they'll improve quality of life. And it's quite amazing, really. What we find is, with residents specifically, and also residents' families, because you find out a lot of things from residents' families, we've found out that people not only enjoy the classes, but they're experiencing phenomenal changes in their life and quality of life. We've found people have gone from not being able to feeding themselves to feeding themselves again, not being able to wipe their own bums to wiping their own bums again, not being able to leaving their own house due to agoraphobia to going into the garden to do gardening again. Now, I do not put down Oomph as some miracle cure, something magical that's happened because of a physiological change. What's happened is people have suddenly realised that they enjoy moving, that they realise that because they're laughing, because they're interacting, because they're doing a little bit more, that maybe they can feed themselves. Maybe they can wipe their own bums. Maybe they can leave their house to go gardening. And we're just hopefully empowering that change. We find that when you go into care, there's a rapid deterioration, and it's often due to lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem, just lack of self. And if we can re-empower people to be themselves again, to really enjoy being who they are, being able to enjoy what they can do, we can slow down this deterioration process. We're not going to stop people getting older, we're not going to stop people dying, but we can increase quality of life for a little bit longer. Wellburn Care Homes is, their activity schedule's the best I've seen in any care home, and that I've been into over 1,000 care homes, so it's quite remarkable. They've got activities for every morning, every afternoon of every day, and that's really, really admirable. I think that's fantastic that they're really investing in that. It's our belief at Oomph that your activities have got to be the core of any care home, because activities bring the residents together. If you don't bring the residents together, all you've got is a lot of people in a very big building who essentially do nothing. They don't communicate with each other. We bring activities and we create community. And Wellburn have really embraced that idea.